Christopher Wylie is with us now from London. Christopher, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hi.
Hi. It's good to talk to you. As we just saw, you've said that Facebook improperly obtained data for up to 50 million Facebook users. And the point of this was to develop personality profiles and then target political advertising to them. My first question is pretty simple. To your knowledge, did the Trump campaign in 2016 use that improperly accessed data?
Well, let me be clear. I left Cambridge Analytica before it joined the Trump campaign.
Right.
What I do know is that the company had been in talks with Trump before Trump had even announced his candidacy. But you'll have to ask Cambridge Analytica directly if they were using this misappropriated data for Donald Trump. But what I do know is that this was the foundation of Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica was founded on misappropriated data of at least 50 million Facebook users. And I want to bring attention to that so that people understand that their data is being used improperly by this company that has also been in talks with Russian oil companies, that was using a psychologist who was going back and forth between London and Russia, who was also working on projects that were funded by Russian funds in Russia on profiling people and their personalities. So I think it's really important for Americans to know what this company has been doing with their data, and it's really important, I think, to find out, was this data used to help elect Donald Trump?
There is a lot to unpack there. To that last question you posed, as you say, you left in 2014, so you don't know if this data was used by the Trump campaign. But let's talk about what it was used for.
What I do know is that Cambridge Analytica was meeting with Corey Lewandowski in 2015 before Trump had even announced, and offering the services that I'm talking about right now.
And that's what I wanted to get to. Can you explain, because you were one of the founders of this research, can you explain how it would be used? I think you've even used the term weaponized data. How? What would it be used to do?
Yeah, I think what's really important for people to understand is that Cambridge Analytica was birthed out of a company called SEL Group, which is a military contractor based in London. This data was used to create profiling algorithms that would allow us to explore mental vulnerabilities of people, and then map out ways to inject information into different streams or channels of content online, so that people started to see things all over the place that may or may not have been true. This is a company that really took fake news to the next level by powering it with algorithms.
So it's different than political advertising, because it seems to me any good political messaging tries to predict, guess at what might appeal to voters, and then design a message to that. But you say this went further by getting those personality profiles and then administering or delivering fake news messages?
Yeah, you have to understand that this is based on an idea called informational dominance, which is the idea that if you can capture every channel of information around a person and then inject content around them, you can change the perception of what's actually happening. So the fundamental difference between what Cambridge Analytica has done and standard political messaging is that when I show you an ad for a candidate, it says, hi, I'm so-and-so and I approve this message. It is apparent that they are seeing political messaging. It is apparent that they're trying to be convinced. But what Cambridge Analytica does is works on creating a web of disinformation online, so that people start going down the rabbit hole of clicking on blogs, websites, etc., that make them think that certain things are happening that may not be.
And let me mention, because Cambridge Analytica, your former employer, says you are a former contractor involved in a, quote, patently malicious attempt to hurt the company. They say they have a restraining action against you. Your response to that, and also, what are your politics?
Not true.
Do you have a political?
I don't have a restraining action against me. That's not true.
Do you have a political agenda? Because this Cambridge Analytica obviously was funded by conservative interests. You worked there. Is there any political reason why you're coming forward now?
I think what's really important for people to understand is that this company misappropriated data of upwards of 50 million people from Facebook They misused that data. That data was processed by psychologists who were going back and forth between London and Russia, who were also working on projects in Russia for Russians, that this company was using this data. Meanwhile, as it was talking to the second largest oil company of Russia, sending work that I was doing to the CEO of Lukoil, which has known links with the Russian FSB, which is their state security services. I think we need to step back for a second and depoliticize this, because this is about the safety of Americans and the integrity of the American democratic process. If this data was misappropriated and mishandled by this company, and I think that they need to be investigated for that.
Yeah, and it seems like that is going forward, and certainly Facebook is answering some questions as well. Christopher Wylie, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.